Colleen, today we're going to go over Parts A and B of Medicare. And the way that works is your Part A side of Medicare, that's your hospital coverage. That's going to cover your room and board, some general nursing, and some miscellaneous expenses. If you have any questions, stop me as I go through. Days 1 through 60. Medicare is going to pay all that hospital room costs for you, except for their Part A deductible. And that deductible is $1,260. So whether you're in the hospital for 1 day all the way up through 60 days, guess who's going to pay that $1,260?
I guess me.
I guess you. Then days 61 through 90. The way that works is Medicare is going to continue to pay for that hospital room should you be in the hospital day 61 through 90, but they're now going to bill you $315 each day. If you're in for those 30 days, that equates to $9,450. You'll be paying that. Then you get down to days 91 through 150. Those are deemed lifetime reserve days. Medicare's got somewhat of a good heart. They're giving you 60 days of extended coverage over the course of your lifetime. For each one of those days that you use, that's one less day you'll be able to be covered over the course of your life.
Okay.
Now, if you should tap into those 60 days, Medicare is going to be billing you $630 each day for each one of those lifetime reserve days that you use. If you used all 60 of those lifetime reserve days in 1 year, that equates to an additional $37,800 that you're going to pay out of your pocket.
Wow.
Now, this goes by a benefit period too, because people are going to say, well, who's going to be in the hospital day 150? And the way a benefit period works is when you go into the hospital actually admitted and you're discharged from the hospital or from a skilled nursing facility and you're home for 60 consecutive days, you'll return to the hospital during that calendar year. You're in a new deductible period.
Oh.
And everything is going to start all over again. So those folks that say, I'm not going to be in the hospital for 150 days, well, you could be in the hospital, released, discharged, go back home, but you hadn't been home for those 60 consecutive days and then have to return to the hospital. Those days in your benefit period keep on counting. So it's not impossible to have 150 days in the hospital there.
Okay.
Blood. You're going to notice that blood appears on both your Parts A and B side of Medicare. Now on the Part A side, the way that works is you would pay for the first three pints of blood. Medicare doesn't cover your first 3 pints of blood, the cost of that. They will pick up the 4th pint and on. So you would bear the cost of those first 3 pints. And I've heard that blood can run anywhere between, say, $500 to $1,000 for each pint of blood that you need. So that could be an additional $1,500 plus, depending on the cost of blood. Skilled nursing. Skilled nursing facility, don't confuse that with a nursing home. What skilled nursing is you know, you're on the mend, they've discharged you pretty much from the hospital, but you're still in a rehab facility, so to speak. Let's say you had that knee replacement. Now, Medicare is great the first 20 days. They'll cover you completely at 100%. But days 21 through 100, those 80 days, if you're still going through skilled nursing, this year Medicare is going to bill you $157.50 for each one of those days. That in turn equates to an additional $12,600. Then you come down to hospice care, and hospice is pretty good where as far as Medicare's coverage goes, they're going to pretty much cover all the cost of hospice. There could be a little minor copay or whatever. The prescriptions, you'd pay no more than $5 for prescriptions or 5% for any Medicare-approved respite care. So that's your Part A side of Medicare.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
No.
We haven't even gotten to the doctor bills now.
I know.
Okay, so that's going to be covered under your Part B side of Medicare. Now, with Part B, that's going to cover your doctor visits, your inpatient, outpatient services, whether you're admitted to the hospital or just go in for that day procedure, so to speak. Medicare has a $147 annual deductible.
Oh,
In other
okay.
words, you're going to pay the first $147 of any medical expense out of your pocket before your Part B benefits actually go and are triggered and go into place.
Okay.
So once you've hit that $147 threshold, what happens is Medicare is going to generally pay 80% of the amount that Medicare approves. You're going to be saddled with the other 20%. Your excess charges, and outpatient hospital services works the same way, whether it's inpatient or outpatient.
Okay.
Your Part B excess charges, kind of simply put, is a doctor may bill $100,000 for a procedure. Medicare is going to come back with their Medicare approved amount. And let's say in this case, the doctor billed $100,000, but Medicare only allows $20,000. That $80,000 difference between the billing and what Medicare approved, you don't need to worry about that. The doctor probably just typically writes that off.
Oh, okay.
So you're okay there. So if a doctor takes Medicare assignment, that means that the doctor is not going to receive any more than that $20,000 that Medicare had approved. However, if a doctor takes Medicare but does not necessarily take Medicare assignment, Medicare allows that doctor to bill up to an additional 15% based on the Medicare approved amount. So taking that $20,000, that doctor could bill you an additional $3,000. Guess who pays that?
Me again?
You got it. You again. Blood, what happens is Medicare on your Part B side will pay for the first 3 pints of blood. However, you will pay 20% of any outstanding amount.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Home health care, if you're in the hospital and a nurse or whatever needs to come to your home, check up on you, or maybe dress a wound, give some services at home, Medicare is good for you in that case. They will pay 100% of that amount.
Cool.
And then finally, we get down to durable medical equipment. That could be anything from as basic as a cane or a walker to a wheelchair to oxygen, maybe even a hospital bed. And the way that works is Medicare is going to pay 80% of the Medicare approved amount. Guess who pays the other 20%?
That's me again.
That's you again. So now you've got hopefully an understanding of Medicare Part A, your hospital side of Medicare, and Medicare Part B, which is going to be your medical services side.
Wow, I need some help, Mark.
I'm just the one to help you.
Sounds good.